Welcome back to the TWSN YouTube channel. Another exciting 7-round team-specific mock draft. As you see, this one is Houston Texans focused. Now, picks 13 from the Deshaun Watson deal. You're going to have a lot of options, obviously. Now, the way the board has fallen so far, Aiden Hutchinson went first, Malik Willis went second. Again, that's a pretty realistic possibility, leaving the Texans with really whoever they want. I love Kayvon Thibodeau. I think that's kind of who I would go if I was him. But I could see them. I obviously Trayvon Walker's been flying up boards. Love Trayvon Walker. They could be interested in these tackles as well. But I really don't know if there's a better player in the draft than Kayvon Thibodeau. I just don't think there is. He's always been the best player in this draft in my eyes, and simple as that. The Texans should feel lucky if he's there at 3. Who knows? Maybe they don't even take him. But in general, I think he's the best player in the draft. He's available at 3. I'm going to give him them. Now, again, at 13, from the Deshaun Watson deal, this was obviously the Browns pick. This is where they can do anything. This pick could be a surprise to a lot of people. I don't think they'll double dip at an edge. It could definitely be a receiver. Drake London, Jameson Williams, whoever they view as their best receiver available. Andrew Booth makes a ton of sense, in my opinion. I think that probably the best just pure ball hawking skills in the drafts. But do they want a corner? They definitely need a corner. They definitely need a receiver. They're shopping Brandon Cooks is a possibility. So this one's tough. I'm kind of deciding between wide receiver or corner. Right now, let's go ahead and give them a wide receiver, big body Drake London from USC. They kind of gives Davis Mills 2 massive targets, and Nico Collins and Drake London, and just to put on the outside with a guy like Brev Jordan running the middle as a tight end. You can still get some slot receivers later in the draft, which I'll probably hit on. But just in general, I think because of that pick, you need somebody who can kind of have a high impact right away at a position that's kind of taking over the NFL a little bit. So I think that's kind of why I looked to go receiver early over corner. And I'm going to look to kind of address the corner position right now, if we're being honest. Let's take a look at the board first. Kenyon Green's a fun one. A lot of these guys are pretty solid up here. I'm not going to lie. Some of these linebackers are really fun. Some good offensive linemen. Some good receivers. They got a lot to work with here. Let's go ahead. I saw a name that I like. Let me go ahead and give him Jalen Petrie from Baylor. A super versatile, do-it-all safety. He can play some safety. He can play some corner. And when you're a team like the Texans, you need talent. You need versatile players that can do a lot of different things. And he just fits that mold. I think that he would be a really, really good pick there. I think he's a really good player. I think I'm a little higher on him than most people, but some people are pretty high on him as well. When you get a guy that's that versatile, they can play multiple positions in the secondary, you can get creative, you can disguise them in a bunch of different ways. I think it's very beneficial to your team. I think that's kind of just what the Texans look to do there. Now, I still think they need a true corner. Do they like any of these guys? Mario Goodrich here is a little bit early. Wouldn't surprise me. They do need a running back. The running back position is interesting for the Texans because this team obviously wasn't very good. So do they take a running back now and start his clock earlier, or do they wait till they're a little closer to contention and take a running back? That's definitely a possibility as well. So we got Thibodeau, London, and Petrie so far. Let's go ahead and let's look at the offensive tackles. None of these guys are staying. Abraham Lucas is really solid. Let's look at the interior. Donald Parham, Darian Kinnard. Let's go ahead and give him Kennard from UK. I think that he probably slates best as an interior offensive lineman, which is why I like him with the Texans. They obviously could use an upgraded tackle, but if that's what they decide to do, Kennard can go play outside as well. Just another versatile interior guy you can do a lot with. Just a really solid floor. His upside's not the highest in my opinion. I think he can come in and can be a decent starter for a long time in the NFL. And now another early pick here again for the Texans. Do we consider running back? Yes, I really am considering running back here, but I I just don't know if they pull the trigger on a running back yet. It's tough. I think let's go ahead and give him Isaiah Spiller. Keep him Texas A&M guy going to the Houston Texans. They need a running back. They signed Marlon Mack. Spiller can kind of be eased in a little bit. I think he's a great player. He can do it all. Gives me a lot of, reminds me a little bit of Joe Mixon, kind of his running style. Can catch better than people give him credit for. And they do need a running back. I think there's a good chance that they take one. Maybe they can take one whenever. They can take whoever they view as their RB1, maybe at the top of the second round, whatever. They can do so much with the running back position, but I think because they have so many picks and Spiller kind of fell to them at a value there in the third round, I think it makes sense. I think it makes a lot of sense. Now we got back-to-back picks here for the Texans. Again, you can do a lot. I want to look at corner. I want to look at corner. Let's go ahead and give him Kobe Bryant from Cincinnati. That's a pick I like a lot. This pick, I might double dip at corner here. If I'm being completely honest, I might double dip at corner. I think I'm going to. Let's go ahead and give him Michael Wright from Oregon. You need corner. You do. Their secondary is rough. It's rough. So now you add Petrie, who can do it all, with two, Kobe Bryant obviously played with Sauce Gardner, got overlooked a little bit, even though he won the award for best corner in the nation. Michael Wright, Oregon, another guy, a little bit of up and down career, but the peaks are extremely high. It's a primary position in the NFL. We see all of the high-powered offenses within the NFL today, and you need corners. You need a solid secondary to stop them. And right now, you can either just stop them with a secondary, you can stop them with a dominant pass rush. And Texans add Kayvon Thibodeau to provide that potential dominant pass rusher. Then you add Petrie, Bryant, and Michael Wright, some solid secondary guys, some versatile guys that can get the job done and provide you. They don't really have anybody back there. They just don't. So I think that double dipping at the, they might not put themselves in a position to pick corner at 107 and 108. But in general, I think that they'll probably address the secondary pretty heavily. Obviously, maybe they view some people higher than I do. But in general, I like how the board's fallen here for them so far. I really like this draft so far for the Texans. Now here again at 183. Draft coming to a close a little bit. Again, they can kind of do a little bit of everything. Let's go ahead and give him Kellen Dietrich from Arizona State. Tested phenomenally well at the combine. And, the tape's okay. The tape's nothing bad. It's nothing great either. But when you have a guy that tests that well athletically, and tackle is a very good position. It's kind of that sweet spot for taking high upside tackles. And I think that's exactly what he is. Tackles a decent need for them. They have tons. So they have some good offensive linemen in general. I give him Kennard, who can go play outside, can stick inside, but it's just a developmental high upside tackle there in the 6. Now we have picks 205 and 207 again. The Texans have a lot of picks. What do we have so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 picks as of now. They might even have one later. I'm not too sure. But again, that's a position where they can do a little bit of everything. We've addressed most of their needs. I don't think they're going to take a quarterback. I'm a big Davis Mills supporter. They can kind of go a little bit of everywhere here. I know their linebacker core is not the best, but nobody's really jumping out on me here. I like Nephi Sewell, but he's all the way down the board. Not that necessarily matters. They got some of these safeties that I do like. I love this guy from TCU, but I've already given them 2 offensive linemen, and they have the tackle position locked up. Let's go ahead. Let's look at the receiver position and give them another receiver I like. Obviously, have Brandon Cooks. Could be shot. They gave him Drake London. They have Nico Collins. They kind of need a little bit of an inside guy, or maybe you just screw it and give me another big target. Tyquan Thornton, broke the combine record for a second, and then they were like, no, you actually didn't. So I think that was kind of funny. But just in general, let's go ahead and give him Tyquan Thornton from Baylor here. Teams can fall in love with speed, so maybe he's not even here. There's a good chance that's a possibility, but he's good. Now you have a field stretcher in Tyquan Thornton with the big bodies of Nico Collins. Drake London, Brev Jordan underneath. It's a really fun offense that they're building there. And I think speed is such a valuable position to have on the depth chart first because you can stretch the field. Even if they're just running down the field and you're not going to throw it to them, it just pushes the defense back. It creates more openings in the short to intermediate side of the ball. So again, Texans pick again right here. They can do so much. I'm trying to find the best bang for their buck here. And it's pretty tough. I kind of like I like a lot of people in this range in general. But let's go ahead and give him Michael Clements from Texas A&M. He's a guy that he can move around on the defensive line a lot. And my kind of what I like to look at late in drafts are people that have either just like, they've fallen for whatever reason. They have some sort of high upside, or they can be special team studs, or they are extremely versatile and can contribute and step in and impact the game in a lot of ways. And that's what Clemens does there. I don't think the upside's terribly high, but just the ability to play pretty much everywhere on the defensive line is a very valuable position. It's a very valuable skill. And when you're, like I said, when you're a team like the Texans, you're kind of rebuilding, retooling everything. There's nothing wrong with doing that at all. Now, again, a lot. You can do a lot. You can do a lot. Let's go ahead and give him the brother of Penei Sewell, Nephi Sewell from Utah. He's a weird one. He has a lot of flashes. I said I like to address players that have flashes. He's battled a little bit of injury bug in his career, but he's been really, really solid when he's on the field. He's a hard hitter, got a nose for the football. Great run defender. And when you look at the division they play in, Derrick Henry's in there. I know by the time the Texans probably want to compete, Derrick Henry might not be the guy he is today, but for right now, he can kind of come in and be a solid run defender for you guys that can kind of be a little bit of a higher upside. But yeah, this is kind of how I can see the Houston Texans draft playing out. The Texans can do a number of different things. They just can. They have so many picks. They need a lot of positions. But this is kind of how I have the board shaken out for them. You dress edge a couple early, draft edge and wide receiver. You double dip in the corner department. You take your running back of the future. You beef up the offensive line with a solid guy in Kennard and a high upside guy with Kellen Dietrich. You address some depth in the wide receiver room with Tyquan Thornton. You had a good run defending linebacker. It's a very interesting time to be a Texans fan. Lots of things to be excited about. Like I mentioned, I'm a huge Davis Mills guy. We'll see how they decide to build around him in this draft, and we'll see the kind of direction they take on draft night. But that's going to wrap things up for this Houston Texans team-specific 7-round mock draft. And I hope to see you guys again on the TWSN YouTube channel soon.